Hey, everybody. Today we're looking at Chapter 17, Section 2, No Easy Victory. And we are looking at the Civil War. It's underway. We're looking at 1861. And at the beginning of the war, the North and South had different plans for the war. And we're going to take a look at the chart in a moment to explain that. Southerners planned to fight a defensive war. Remember, we talked about how in order for this the Union to be brought back together, the North would have to take the fight to the South. So Southerners planned to fight a defensive war. They would wait for Northern armies to attack, and then they would drive them back to the North. The Confederates believed that they could fight off the Union until Northerners got tired of fighting, and when the war became unpopular in the North would be forced to accept the Confederacy. Now, the North had a three-part plan to winning the war. First, it would use ships to blockade southern ports and prevent supplies from entering the South, cut off the South and their ability to get supplies in via ship. Second, the Union hoped to quickly capture Richmond, Virginia, the Confederate capital. And third, the Union planned to seize control of the Mississippi River. This would cut the Confederacy into two parts and prevent the movement of Southern troops and supplies along the river. Now, the North soon was successful in two parts of its war plan. The Union Navy was able to successfully blockade Southern ports. Trade to the South dropped by more than 90%. So the plan to keep the South from getting goods in and getting goods out by ship was very, very successful. The Navy also moved to gain control of the Mississippi River. Union gunboats captured the city of New Orleans, and more ships seized Memphis in Tennessee. The Union now controlled both ends of the Mississippi River. At the same time, Union General Ulysses S. Grant led his army to victory during the Battle of Shiloh, and we will see a video clip on the Battle of Shiloh shortly on the Tennessee River. The North was slowly gaining control of the western part of the Confederacy. However, in the East, it was another story. Union armies did not win any major battles in the first years of the war. The Battle of Bull Run was the first battle of the war, and neither side could claim victory at the Battle of Bull Run. However, the battle did show that the war would be long and difficult. A lot of people believed before this war started that it would be short and it would be quick and it would be maybe 60 days tops. And we're going to find out after the Battle of Bull Run and after some of the early battles that this was simply not going to be the case. The naval battle between the Confederate ship, the Virginia, and the Union ship, the Monitor, also ended in a draw. The Union was not able to capture Richmond as it had hoped, and the Confederates won the Battle of Fredericksburg, one of the Union Army's worst defeats in Virginia, and the Battle of Chancellorsville, but at great cost. The South's best general, Stonewall Jackson, was killed at the Battle of Chancellorsville. All right, let's take a moment to look at the chart at the bottom of the reading. What were the plans of each side? This is real important as we're looking at the start of the war and the first couple years of the war. The plans for the North, again, three-pronged or three-part plan. They wanted to blockade southern ports, stop goods from getting in and out of the South. They wanted to take Richmond, Virginia, the Confederate capital. If they could seize the capital, if they could capture Richmond, they would break the spirit of the Confederacy. And they were hoping to seize control of the Mississippi River to cut the Confederacy into two parts. Okay, seize control of the Mississippi to cut the Confederacy into two. Now, on the southern side, their plans were a little bit simpler. Again, they needed to fight a defensive war until Northerners tired of fighting. Remember, we said at the beginning of the Civil War unit, when we began this unit a couple of days ago, that the South understood that in order for the North to defeat them, the North was going to have to invade the South and force them back into the Union. So the South was ready to fight largely a defensive war until Northerners tired of fighting, until people said it's not worth it. with all the bloodshed to force the South back into the Union. The South was hoping that the North would tire of fighting a war in the South. And also, the plan on the part of the South at the start of the war was they were depending on European money and supplies to help them, because they knew darn well that the South was going to blockade them and to prevent them from getting a lot of the goods that they needed to fight the war. So they were banking on European help in the form of money and supplies. So our two questions at the bottom of the reading that we need to address. Question one, which is again based on the reading: which parts of its war plan did the North achieve early in the war? Remember, there were three parts of their war plan. Which parts of its war plan did the North achieve early in the war? And the chart question, question two, asks, what part did the European nations play in the plans of the South? What part did the European nations play in the plans of the South? And you can answer question two by looking at the chart at the bottom of the page. When we come back, we'll look at Chapter 17, Section 3,